This is the Saros 10R, and it is the first robot vacuum and mop that has actually let me forget about vacuuming and mopping for days at a time. My floors look consistently clean, my rugs stay dry, and I am not babysitting it. This is a robot vacuum and mop combo, and it fits the person who wants hands-off daily cleaning without making sacrifices on navigation or mopping. If you have a mix of hardwood and carpet, pets that shed, furniture with low clearance, or a busy schedule, this is built for that kind of home. I live with a big shedding dog, a kid who drops crumbs like it is a hobby, and a mix of hardwood with area rugs. I needed something slim, smart, and reliable. That is exactly where the Saros 10R has been earning its keep. The design matters more than it gets credit for. The low profile is the first thing I noticed. It is just over 3 inches tall, which means it actually goes under my sofa, my bed frame, and the lip of a media console that other robots keep ramming into. The body has a clean, modern look that disappears into my living room, but the part that affects daily life is how that shape helps it avoid getting wedged. I have had 0 stuck alerts under my bed since I switched to this. Underneath, the main brush is designed to funnel hair to the center so it gets sucked straight in, and on my floors that has cut down the gross chore of cutting hair off a tangled brush. The dual spinning mop pads extend outward, so they reach into corners and along baseboards better than the older single pad designs I have used. The dock is not just a charger. It empties the dust, refills the water, mixes a measured detergent, and then washes and dries the mop pads with hot water and hot air. That last part matters. The pads do not get smelly, and I no longer have a damp cloth sitting around the house. Setup was straightforward with one hiccup. The robot only connects to a 2.4 GHz wireless network, not 5 GHz. I had to make sure my router was broadcasting that band. Once it paired with the Roborock application, the rest fell into place. The initial map completed faster than I expected. I labeled rooms, drew no-go zones around a cable nest behind a side table and around the pet bowls, and created schedules. I linked it with Amazon Alexa and with Google Home for voice commands, and the built-in Hello Rocky voice assistant actually worked better than I assumed. I can just say a command to clean the kitchen or pause cleaning when a delivery arrives. Day to day, I grab my phone less than I used to. The system is responsive. It updates the map quickly if I move chairs around, and it handles room-based cleaning with very little delay. Navigation is where this robot started to feel different. The StarSight Autonomous System 2.0 uses laser sensors and a front-facing camera to understand the layout. That combination makes it more confident in tight spaces. It moves like it knows where it is going, which cuts down on those little hesitation taps along furniture legs. I can open the live view in the application to check what it is seeing. I've used the one-click pet search a handful of times when I was out of the house. It snaps a photo of my dog napping or sniffing the vacuum like it owes him money and sends it to my phone. It is a bit of fun, but it is also useful when you want peace of mind. There is also two-way audio, so I have tried calling my dog through it. He tilted his head, stared at the robot, and then went back to sleep. Mission accomplished. On the cleaning side, suction is strong enough to pick up my most common messes in one pass. Breakfast cereal, dry dog food crumbs, fine dust off the hardwood, and the gritty sand that builds up near the front door all go in without leaving trails. On low-pile rugs, it lifts debris from the fibers without catching or dragging the rug. On deeper carpets, I still do an occasional pass with a traditional upright vacuum for that deep pull, but for maintenance cleaning, the robot keeps the carpet looking good. Noise is noticeably lower than other robots I have used, especially in the balanced cleaning modes. I can take a call in the next room without raising my voice. If you work from home or have kids napping, that matters. Mopping performance often feels like an afterthought on robots. Not here. The dual pad scrub and the pressure is enough to actually lift dried coffee rings around the breakfast table and the light greasy squares that form where I stand at the stove. The robot automatically lifts the mopping pads when it senses carpet, so my rugs have stayed dry. That is not a nice to have. It is mandatory in a mixed floor home. When the water gets dirty mid-clean, the robot returns to the dock. washes the pads with hot water, dries them with hot air, refills clean water with a bit of detergent, and then picks up exactly where it left off. I did not realize how big of a difference that loop makes until I watched it finish my kitchen. No gray film left behind, no dragging of dirty water across the floor. Real life is messy, and I always test around my routines. After dinner, I run a targeted kitchen clean with stronger mopping and a standard vacuum pass. The robot navigates chair legs without drama and gets right up along the toe kick under my cabinets. On rainy days with muddy paw prints, I set 2 mopping passes for the hallway and entry. On the first pass, it sometimes leaves faint smears if the mud is thick, but after it returns to wash the pads and comes back for pass 2, the floor looks right. In the living room, it vacuums while my kid is playing, and it mostly avoids toy blocks, though soft wires still can trip it up. I learned to gather charging cables and thin cords off the floor before starting a full house run. Thresholds between rooms in my older home are uneven, and the AdaptiLift Chassis helps it climb anything up to around 4 centimeters without scraping. That one change eliminated a frequent stall that my last robot hit every day. The camera has become more than a novelty. When I am away, I have used the live view to check if I left the back door mat folded or if the dog knocked his water bowl. The footage is clear enough to see small obstacles and to guide the robot with the on-screen controls if I wanted to spot clean a specific area. It is not a replacement for a security camera, but as a window into what the robot is doing and a quick way to check on pets, it has been surprisingly handy. Battery life has been solid. In my 3-bedroom house, I get about 2.5 to 3 hours of cleaning before it returns to charge. That covers everything on a single run most days. Recharging is quick enough that if it ever needs a top-up, it finishes the job without me thinking about it. The self-emptying dock is the quiet hero of this setup. I take out a sealed dust bag around every 2 months, and that is it. I am not dumping a tiny bin every day or breathing in a puff of dust. The digital display on the station shows status at a glance, and the reminders for maintenance are actually helpful instead of nagging. It is not flawless, and that is important to say. The wireless network requirement for 2.4 GHz slowed down my first setup, and I had to separate my networks to get it paired. When I move larger furniture around, I sometimes reset the map or run a quick remap, which takes a few minutes. Light cords and stringy tassels are still hazards, and if a mess is truly heavy, like thick wet mud, I set multiple passes or do a quick manual pre-wipe. None of these have been deal breakers, but they are part of living with any robot vacuum. There are small touches that make daily use nicer. I can schedule heavier mopping in the kitchen and a lighter vacuum in the bedrooms, and it remembers. I can ask the Hello Rocky assistant to start cleaning the entry or check the living room without touching my phone. If I forget to refill the water reservoir before a big mop job, the dock takes care of it. The mop pads come out clean and dry, which keeps that musty smell out of my laundry room. The robot's pathing improves after a few runs, and it learns where my thicker rugs are, so it boosts suction there without me creating a special rule. One specific use case that sold me is the after-school window. My kid comes home, snacks happen, crumbs happen, the dog zooms through, and the floor looks like a trail map. I have a routine set for a quick pass in the kitchen and living room 30 minutes later. The Saros 10R rolls out, vacuums, spot mops under the stools, lifts the pads over the rug, and wraps up before dinner. I do not think about it. And when we head out for weekend sports, I can start a whole home clean from the car, then peek at the camera to make sure the dog is not following it around. By the time we are back, the floors are clean and the pads are washed and dried. The Saros 10R is for people who want a dependable, low-maintenance cleaning routine that actually works across mixed floors. If you have pets, low furniture, and you want mopping that does more than drag a damp cloth, this checks those boxes. If you need perfect edge-to-edge stain removal in one pass on very heavy messes, you will still want to schedule extra passes or do a quick spot clean yourself. The navigation is smart, the mopping is genuinely useful, the dock reduces the chores you think about, and the camera adds real flexibility. It is a thoughtful system that fades into the background, which is exactly what I want from a robot cleaner. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and tell me in the comments what you want me to test next, or what floor layouts you want me to try. Thank you for watching.